Alright guys, welcome back. Okay, so this demo, I'm excited. This is an old game I used to play called Frogger, and it's been on my mind for a while, so I'm like, I'm just going to recreate parts of it so you guys can see what Frogger started as. So I found a YouTube video. This is classic Frogger. I hit play. You see where this frog right here, where my mouse is, and he's trying to get across the road. Then he's got this little water area to get across, but that's the idea. You're this frog, there's obstacles, you got to get to the other side. This was a good game in my day. So we're not going to build the whole thing. You can go and look at Frogger Classic if you want, see how the whole game was played. I'm going to show you some parts that I think are cool, and then I always change it a little bit. You got to customize. That's how you learn. So here's my template so far. Let's see what I've made. Absolutely nothing. So we have a game screen, and again, we're using the Simply Coding library. It just makes things a little bit quicker to put images on the screen, do some other collision detection, stuff like that. If you ever want to check out the library, copy this link, paste it, and you can see all the functions in there. They're just simple stuff. Anyway, let's get started, and I'll talk you through it. So the reason I like this game is you control this one player, and then there's some things I want to show you about functions, and again, randomizing that I think are kind of neat. So let's get the background in. Images, row.png, and then we will stretch the background so that it is the size of the game screen. So notice I match those numbers to make it fill this whole square. Now I drew this myself. Okay, I went and drew this little background, and what I used was this place called Piscolab. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's in some of our lessons. I must have spelled it wrong. So I'll just Google it instead. There we go. Oh, 1L. So this is in our lessons. We have kids create their own images and stuff throughout our courses. Basically, you come in here, you draw whatever you want. You can make GIFs. This thing is sweet. You can resize it so it's the exact size you need. Anyway, I use Piscolab with 1L to draw that background. Okay, so we got the background in place. Let's get our frog in place. So the frog, I just went and found on Google. I'm not going to draw a frog because I wouldn't have done a very good job. So I probably named it frog.png, frog.type. I know he'll need a type. I always do the type player for the main person. It's just a habit. You can make it whatever you want. So there's our frog. Awesome. Okay, we got to shrink him. Give him a couple properties. So we need to shrink him. I think I found the best size for this little frog was 48 by 48. I did some exact math. That's not true, but we're going to do 48, 48, and then we're going to move him. Instead of using move to, I'm going to center him. I'm going to put him at the bottom, and then I'm going to lift him up off the bottom screen just a little bit. So you can use an offset and go 0 in the X direction, and to move him up in the Y direction, it's negative. So the Y direction gets larger as you move down. So Y, for example, is 0 up top, and it becomes larger as you move down. So if you want to move something up, you go negative Y. Okay, so now let's check him out. I'm going to save and refresh. There's our little frog right there in the blue. So the idea is we're going to take this frog, move him with the arrow keys, and cars are going to come out, and we got to get him to the other side. And then we can make a twist if we would like to. Okay, I'm probably going to need more properties, but for now, I think that's good. Let's get him moving. Alright, so to move him, we need to do the window add event listener. So we're going to have our window listen for a key down, and when that happens, create a function, and we're going to use the letter E to signify that that has happened. And so if the key code, the key that went down, key code is equal to the right arrow key, so the right key, then we want the frog to move one body length to the right. So I'm going to go frog.move to, and in the X direction he needs to move larger, or I mean he needs to move one body length to the right. So we're going to go frog.x plus 48. In the Y direction, we want him to stay on the same level. So let's see if that works. I'm going to save and refresh, and when I hit the right arrow key, nothing happens. Let's see what I did wrong. So obviously when I code live add event listener, I did not add that E right there. So let me save. So many times it's spelling. Hit refresh, and there he is. He's moving right. He can't move any other direction because we haven't put those in yet. So instead of making a whole new function like I do sometimes, we are just going to use an else if statement. And we are going to put, you'll see what I do. Alright, so now else if it's the left key that gets pushed, we need to move them negative in the x direction. If it's the up key that gets pressed, we want to keep his x position and move him negative in the y direction. And if it's the down key, then we are going to keep his x and move him down in the y direction. So now let's refresh, and we have this frog freely crossing the road. We don't want that. He's got to have obstacles. So since this was hand-drawn, the math isn't perfect. I hit that orange thing. Anyway, our frog's moving. That's the important thing. Now, what I have is I have 3 vehicles. I just found these on Google as well and saved their images. Now, I'm going to do something a little bit different. So we have our start function right here. And the reason this start function works right when we open the browser is because we have this body on load equals start. As soon as the browser reads the body tag, it loads our start function. I'm going to create another function called truck. Okay, and what this truck is going to do is var truck equals new sgs.image images truck.png. It's going to create a new truck, and I know I'm going to need a type, and we'll just make the truck the enemy. They're all going to be the enemy. So let me save this, and when I hit refresh, no truck appears. The reason no truck appears is because there is nothing in this code that says, hey, run this function. Remember, functions just contain code, and they don't do anything until somebody pokes them. Tells them, hey, your turn to go. So right here, and it actually doesn't truly matter where, just below the background, I'm going to type in truck with parentheses. And what this tells the browser is, oh, somewhere in this file, there is a function named truck. And since those match, then it will then call that function and tell it to run. So let me hit refresh. There's our truck. Now it's too large and it's in the wrong spot, so let's shrink it down and we'll move it to this bottom lane right there. Okay, so truck, I'm going to do no bounds because I don't want him to stop when he hits the edges of the screen. We are going to move him to 900x, and we're just going to take a stab, try and get that top lane. I'm going to say 70y. And let's shrink him. Now I'm going to do truck.setWidth because I don't want to mess with him getting all his height and width all different and looking all squished. So I'm just going to set his width to 150, and that will automatically do the ratio for the height. Now the truck needs to have no friction, and then if he's starting on the right side, we need to push him left, and let's push him left by 10. That might be too fast, I don't know. So let me save, refresh, there's the truck. And we create one truck every time. Perfect. Okay, let's get the other one working. Okay, so now I'm going to get, so I also have 2 semis. Semi-NT is semi-no trailer, semi-WT is semi-with trailer. I don't want to retype all this stuff. So I am going to go, we'll just call this one the semi. And then the image is going to be semi-NT, no trailer. And he is semi-NT. And Sublime Text, you can highlight one word, hold down Control and hit D, and it gives you multiple cursors. You can edit everything at once. I love it. Okay, now maybe this is the right width. I don't know. Let's try and get him in the, let me do 160. Try and get him in that middle lane. And then we need to call him. So we have our truck. Let's call our semi. Save it. We just want to make sure everything works, and then we'll start in the randomizing. I need to move him up a little bit. So this semi should go up, which would be less. Let me save, refresh. I want to get him right inside that lane. Oh, that looks good. Okay, now let's add the semi with a trailer. So I'm going to copy this code, and we're going to go semi, and this one has a trailer. So this is going to be WT to match the name of my image. See right there, WT. And, oh, I don't want to do that. Let's change this to be semi-trailer. And we're going to try and get in that bottom lane. So we're learning all the Y's. This Y will be, I don't know, 275. Let's try that. And let's refresh. Oh, I didn't call him. See? Computers make very accurate mistakes. Okay, so now let's save and let's refresh. That semi looks wimpy and he's too far down. So let's have this semi-trailer, let's make him big. And then he's too far down, so he needs to move up. That's less. Okay, let me save and refresh. Ooh, yeah, that looks nice. And he will go to 255 maybe. Ooh, even less than that, 245. Sorry, I should have learned. Okay, perfect. All right, so now we have our semis running. All of our cars. We know all of our lanes, all the images are working. Now we just need to come up with a way to randomly pick which ones go and have it continuous. Okay, so we know that these call each of the 3 different lanes. So if I come here and I go set interval function, you know I got serious because I sat up in my chair. This is getting fun now. And let's just go every 1 second. That's the easiest way to do it. Okay, so we need to do a set interval function, and then we need a way of creating some if statements with some random numbers that will make sure that these are getting called all the time. All right, we're gonna have to do a couple random numbers now that I think about it. Okay, so let's actually do this. Let's go var number, and I'm just gonna create a number 0, 1, and 2. So 3 different numbers. If it's a 0, the truck will go. If it's a 1, the semi will go. If it's 2, the semi-trailer will go. So let's go math.floor, and then we're going to go math.random times 3. What this does is floor makes us round down no matter what. Even if it's 1.9, it will round down to 1. So we'll be able to get 0, 1, and 2 out of this. So if number is equal to 0, then we're going to call the truck. Okay, else if number is equal to 1, we are going to call the semi-trailer. And then we'll go else if number is equal to 2, we're going to call the semi with the trailer. Okay, so let me save and refresh this and make sure everything's working. So every second we're going to, oh, it went in order. That was pretty cool. Okay, so now we have cars coming. We can't hit each other yet, but so we have cars coming, which is nice. We might be able to change the speed and all that stuff. But let's do something a little bit tricky here. So all of these y coordinates, we know what they are. There's 70, there's 155, and 245. I'm going to make a little array called var y equals, let's see, 70, what's this other one? 155, and then what did we use? 245. Now I just realized that this guy's bigger, so he's not going to fit in the lane exactly, but that's okay. This is just for fun. You could make a separate array just for him if we found all his numbers. So this might look a little goofy, but we'll get it. Okay, so now instead of doing 70, we are going to go like this. We're going to create math dot, let me think here, math dot round, math dot random times y. Okay, so this is going to now times y dot length. That's what I was missing, and I spelled that wrong. Okay, so this y dot length means that we're going to times this, and so we can get a 0, 1, or a 2. Oh, floor. So same thing, we need to get 0, 1, or 2. And this is all going to go inside of, so this will return a number, 0, 1, or 2. And if we wanted, you know what, we could go right here, var get y equals this. Okay, so now this will now get set equal to get y, and then we can just go get y inside of there. Okay, so let's see if the truck can come out on different lanes now. So now we're waiting for the truck. And of course, when you're waiting for the truck, you get semis. Come on, show me a truck. That's unbelievable. The odds of this happening. There's a truck, and it went on the top. I want to see it go in the middle. This is astronomically insane from a probability standpoint. It keeps going. Oh, there it is. It's in the middle. I knew it worked. We just had to see it. Okay, so we did get a truck in the middle. That was crazy. All right, so we did get a truck. It got the 155. It would get the 245 as well, because that would be a 2. Yes, it will get that. And we're going to add this now to each of these functions. And then their get y, we're going to replace their y with get y. Okay, so now let's save, and I'm going to speed this up because I didn't like waiting that long. Time is valuable to you kids. Alright, so now we should be able to get the semi-trailer and the trucks on all of the lanes. And you can see they drive on the, because, oh, he fits really well, this guy doesn't. So we have some things that we could fix. If we wanted to get real detailed, we could go in here and we might have to give them we might have to give these functions all their own array, like we did here, and figure out exactly where they fit since they're different image sizes. But this is good enough for the game. Okay, so I have to get through here to the other side. So now we just need to do a little on hit. So hopefully all this has made sense so far. Now we're just I'm gonna put a comment tag, and we're gonna type in collision. Detection code will go here, and I'm gonna do sgs.onHit. So when the player hits the enemy, I'm just gonna have it'll create a function. X will be the player, Y will be the enemy, and let's just go like this. We are gonna let's do a message. So I'm going to go var, M will stand for message. And we're going to do a new sgs.text. And that's going to say ouch. And we will make that 16 size. And we will make it the color of frogs like green. So I'll do green. Now we're going to move this message to x.x, x.y. Remember, x represents the player. And we're going to give this message a background. Small.style.background color equals white. Okay, now we're going to create a set timeout function. So if we did it right now, that ouch would stay there forever and it would never leave the game. So let's destroy it. So let's destroy it after half a second. We're going to go m.destroy, which is our message, and then let's move the player back to his starting position. So we're going to grab his starting position, save it, and move the player right there. Save, refresh. So now it sees what happens. Ouch, ouch. There we go, it's working. You get hit, he says ouch, and you have a half a second to keep moving before he moves you back. So there we go. So now he's saying ouch. It'd be the same thing if we wanted to win this game. We could go like this. Let me just here, and we want instead to touch the top screen, and instead of ouch it'll say you win, and we'll make it 26. I'm just going to make it say victory. All this looks good, and we can move him back to the center. Let's see if that works. Oh, I can't hit the top screen because he is bounded. So we need to go frog.noBounds equals true. That'll let me save, refresh. Oh, did it work? Inspect. Do I have an error? No errors. Alright, why didn't that work? We have our... Where is it? Here's the code right here. Player hit the top screen with 2 Ds. Holy cow. You can't see the message because it goes to where the frog is, which he's covered up. Center. There we go. We'll just put it in the center. Victory. Now we have one issue with this game. The issue is the cars have to wait before they can come out. So I'm going to make the frog wait too. Let's say we wanted the frog to wait as well. So we have this event listener right here, right? Well, we're going to wrap it inside of a set timeout function, and this set timeout function will determine when how long until this code actually works. So I'm going to say you got to wait 1.5 seconds. So I'm going to save it and refresh, and I'm hitting the arrow keys and nothing happens. Now it's working. So that puts a little delay on the player, so we can't just hurry and go through the road. All right, so now we get through the cars and we win. Victory is ours. So here's a little Frogger game. I will put this on our website in the code dungeon. Feel free to download this code, modify it, customize it if you'd like, make it more fun, ask us questions. All of these little videos, if you come to Kids and go to the code dungeon, here we have our YouTube videos are all right here. So I will post this with the other ones, and this is going to get big. Every week I'm going to do more. So great job, guys. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully it was helpful and you learned some good stuff. We built a mini Frogger. We'll see you later.